Doing own voice over soft music. Jungkook was sitting on the couch using his phone while patiently waiting for his cute wife, who is getting ready in their bedroom so has to go to her university. And soon he looked up from his phone when he heard the sound of heels, just for his eyes to sparkle after seeing his cute wife looking. Cook, let's go, she said, standing in front of Jungkook, who was just lost in his wife's beauty. Cook, she waved her hand in front of him, and thus bringing him back to earth, and he hold Wine's wrist and pull her towards him, making her sit on his lap and. You are looking so beautiful, baby, he said while cherishing her cheeks and looking deep in her eyes, making her blush. Thanks, Cook. Before she can complete, Jungkook smashes lips on her and her passionately, which she happily replied back. When he gave her and then he pulled back with a shrimp. Now you look complete with my on you. Now no one will dare to even look at you. He winked at Wine, making her more blush. Ush, Cook, we are getting late. Haven't you said you got a meeting? She reminded him, making him roll his eyes. Like I care. All I care is my wife. But I have classes, so shall we leave? She said while cherishing his side of lips as he got her lipstick over there. Okay, my queen, saying this he got her from couch with Wine in his arm and walked out of the house. Bye, Cook. See you in evening. Take care. Eat lunch on time. Don't overwork. And more about come home quickly. Like every day, she reminded him which he loves has how his wife take care of him when she herself can't take care of herself. Okay, my queen. And call me if anything happens or anyone troubles you. He said, making Wine chuckle. Who will trouble me here, Cook? Everyone knows me that I am the wife of Mafia King John Jungkook. So everyone respect, wait, fear me. She said while jiggling, making Jungkook smile. Good then, and see your friend is waiting for you, he said after seeing Wine's best friend waiting for her near the college entrance and he peeked her forehead. Oh yeah, bye Cook, love you. Saying this, she peeked his whole face and lastly a peek on his lips. She ran away to her best friend, but Jungkook smilingly kept watching her till she completely disappeared. After she disappeared from his sight, the sweet smiley face immediately got replaced by a cold, scary face, and he looked towards a car which was parked behind his car, and there comes a man in black outfit and stand right in front of him. Yes, sir, he said after bowing his head in respect and then faced Jungkook. Do you want me to repeat what you have to do? He asked in his deep, scary voice. No, sir, I know I have to keep an eye on ma'am as every other day and protect her and inform you right away if something happens to. The man stopped when Jungkook showed his palm to him. Nothing should happen, he said, as even imagining of something bad happening to Wine can't tolerate. Trust me, sir, I'm protecting Wine ma'am from a long time. Jungkook just nodded his head and get into the car and drive away. Vine and Leah were fixing their makeup, and after they are done, okay, so let's go with our plan. Cook might have reached his office. Yeah, come, let's go. Saying this, they both best friend walk out of the washroom. Jungkook reached his office and he directly walked towards the meeting room as he had a morning meeting. Jungkook entered the meeting room where his secretary and employees were already present, all ready to start the meeting, and they all stood up and bowed to Jungkook, who just simply walked towards his chair and sat down. Start the meeting, he ordered, and thus everyone took their seat and the meeting started. Jungkook was focusing on the meeting, but soon his attention went to his phone, which vibrated, and he took the phone to see it's his man whom he appointed to keep an eye on Wine is calling. So stop. He again ordered, and thus the meeting paused, and he picked up the call. My queen again skipped the class, right? He directly asked him because he knew that Wine sometimes skip her class and go out with friend, and Jungkook let her be because his queen's happiness is all he wanted. Yes, sir. Keep an eye on her. Say yes, sir. Hearing this, Jungkook cut the call and started working on his phone while saying, my queen, your king was knowing it already after seeing you in my favorite dress, which I brought you for our last date. I was knowing today you're gonna go out. That's why I marked you so that everyone will be aware you are taken. And also, he trimmed more after seeing the location of Wine in his phone, as Wine's necklace has tracker, and he saw Wine safely reach the shopping mall. So he put his phone on so that he can seize Wine's moment and continue, he coldly said to the man who was giving the presentation, and thus the meeting continued with Jungkook occasionally checking Wine's location in his phone. How I'm looking, Leah? She asked her after wearing a dress which Leah selected for Wine. You and this is like a cherry on top of cake, she said, making Wine blush. You sure, Leah? What if Cook won't like it? She asked Leah because the dress was a bit. John Wine, your husband will love it, and more about after seeing you in this dress. I'm sure exactly after 9 months there will be a baby in your hand, she said, making Wine again blush. Okay, so let's buy it. Okay, I also got the same dress. Tonight I will make my boyfriend beg for me. She shrimpingly said, making Wine chuckle at her best friend, and thus they both first went to change the dress and then to the billing counter. But John Wine, a man who was shopping for himself after he heard Leah scream, John Wine paused and he screamed looking at Wine's figure, and he immediately took his phone and started taking pics of Wine and sent it to someone, followed by a text message too, and then he secretly started following Leah and Wine. Jungkook's phone again vibrated with message notification, so he took the phone and first he confirmed Wine's location, which is showing she is still at mall. So he thought to see the message and saw it's from an unknown number. At first, Jungkook frowned, but then he thought to open the message, and when he opened, his eyes turned red in anger, and he saw Wine's pic followed by a message. John, you got a wife, and again there he got a message pic which made his eyes wide open after seeing Jack, his enemy, whom he thought he had, is alive. Mark, follow me. Saying this, he ran out of the meeting room, followed by a running Mark too. Is the way you protect my queen, huh? He shouted at the bodyguard through phone. Sir, ma'am is completely fine right in front of me, enjoying with her best. Just keep looking. Don't let any man near her. I'm coming there within 5 minutes. Saying this, he cut the call and drove more fast. What happened, sir? Did anything happen to ma'am? He asked Jungkook after noticing Jungkook is swearing a lot and seems to be impatient too. That Jack is in the mall, where Wine is there, he said, and Mark's eyes wide open in shock. But sir, we have him years ago. I was the one who put his into the sea. Then how did he came back alive? I don't know, he said, being disappointed in himself as not being able to do his work properly. That is simply through Jack without checking whether Jack is. Jungkook harshly got into one of the cafe inside mall where his phone is showing Wine's location and his eyes were searching for Wine, and thus finally he saw her all fit and fine in front of his eyes, making him feel like he got his soul back, which left his body when he got Wine's pic from Jack. Mark searched the whole mall and get that Jack. I want him. This time I will make sure he will definitely, he said while his eyes still fixed on Wine. Yes sir, saying this he left to do what Jungkook ordered. It's not safe for her to stay here, he said to himself and walked towards Wine, who was enjoying her juice with Leah. But Wine stopped sipping her juice when her eyes fell onto Jungkook, who was approaching her with his big steps and closed face. Leah, please, pray for me, he nervously said to Leah, who was now confused as why Wine is suddenly saying rubbish. Leah frowned. What? Did you order or what? She said and took Wine's drink to check it and took a sip of Wine's drink only to spill the drink from her mouth as her mouth got wide open after seeing Jungkook right in front of them, and Leah understood why suddenly Wine started talking rubbish. Cook, I can. Before she can complete, Jungkook just threw her on his shoulder and walk out of the cafe, and Wine didn't struggle. Just let him do whatever he wants, and Leah also didn't interfere and thought to call Wine later. The ride was so silent. Neither Jungkook spoke, who was driving with a cold face in full speed, nor Wine, who has her head down, and her eyes were fixed on her, where Jungkook's hands were resting, and he was occasionally tightening his grip on her as he was making himself believe that she is fine. Jungkook threw Wine on bed and stared deep into her soul, making her go weak on her knees. And from today, you will stay in this room and house until I say so. Saying this, he turned around to leave, but he stopped when he heard Cook, I'm sorry, she apologized as she thought that Jungkook got mad at her for skipping classes, and Jungkook was about to face Wine, but instead his phone vibrated with a message, so he took his phone to see it's again message from another unknown number, and Jungkook opened the message. Do you know what, John? I only had a doubt on her being your wife because I predicted it by listening to her name, John Wine. But when I saw you taking her from cafe, I confirmed. You dig your own wives, John. Jungkook and friends, Jack shrimming in victory, but he angrily said and harshly opened the door and walked out of the room by harshly closing the door to making Wine flinch as she thought that he is angry on her. Cook is angry on me for the first time. You are bad, Wine. Why you skip class? You shouldn't have skipped your classes. See, you made Cook mad on you. Saying she scolded herself with a sad pout and teary eyes. The whole day passed, but Jungkook didn't show up after the morning incident as he was busy tracking Jack and finding his location. But here Wine was waiting for Jungkook. Easy, not gonna come. It's almost midnight, she said to herself and again picked her phone and dialed Jungkook's number, which he isn't picking up. Is he that much angry on me that he isn't picking up my call too? A drop of tear left her eyes and she laid back onto the bed with her eyes fixed on her phone wallpaper as it's her and Jungkook's pic. Jungkook walked into the bedroom. It was morning and a small sweet smile appeared on his lips after he saw his wife sleeping while holding the phone in her hand, and Jungkook walked towards her and sat next to her and took her phone from her hand and kept it aside and I will never let anything happen to you, my love. I will protect you with my everything. Saying this, he her forehead and covered her with blanket and walked into the bathroom to freshen up. Jungkook got into the bathroom only for himself to get surprised. What's all this? He asked himself and walked towards the cabinet to see all his night skincare already kept on the top of cabinet. Jungkook frowned. I always keep my things in the cabinet drawer. And then how come this year? He asked himself and then his eyes fall onto the mirror where he saw a sticky note. So he took the note and read, I'm sorry, Cook, please forgive me. I love you so much. Jungkook smiled after reading the note and he got it that Wine has done it. Ush, this girl. He shook his head and walked to the shower while removing his clothes one by one, where he got another surprise when his eyes accidentally fall onto the bathtub. What's this? He stared into the bathtub where the tub was already filled with water along with rose petals and the smell of essential oil was also there. She prepared me a bath for his forgiveness. Saying this, he got into the bathtub, even though the water wasn't warm anymore. But then too, he enjoyed the bath as his wife has prepared it for him. After taking a relaxing shower, he was about to get a towel, but again he saw a towel already being kept near to the bathtub, and also he saw his night clothes too. My baby seems to be serious this time, he said to himself and took the towel and wiped his body and then got a sweatband and wore it and walked out of the bathroom. Jungkook looked at the bed to see Wine still sleeping and he let her be and he walked towards the closet to get ready to again leave for his incomplete work. When he got into the closet there he again got another surprise. A pair of his formal attire is already being ironed and hung in the hanger, making Jungkook smile widely, and he took that pair of clothes and wore it. Jungkook walked out of the closet and walked towards Vine and sat next to her sleeping figure on bed and lovingly admired her. Jungkook smiled. Thank you for all the things you done for me. I loved it, but I love more when you are lazy and I take care of you. Saying this, he peeked her forehead and I am sorry, baby, I have to go again. I promise today you won't sleep alone on bed. I will be in your arms. Saying this, he picked her lips softly and I love you, babe. And thus he walked out of the room to go to catch his enemy. Wine woke up but still didn't open her eyes and her hands went to the other side of bed hoping Jungkook might be there. But no, it was cold and empty. So she opened her eyes and sat straight with a sad face. He didn't came home yesterday, she sadly said and got up from bed and walked towards bathroom. When Wine got into the bathroom, her face lightened up a little as she saw that bathroom cabinet is clear. That means Cook came. She immediately ran towards the bathtub and saw the tub was clean. That means Cook isn't angry on me anymore, right? She said herself after noticing Jungkook use the things which she arranged for him yesterday for his forgiveness. Wait, what about the food I cooked for him? She remembered about her cooking, so she immediately ran out of the bathroom to go downstairs. Wine hurriedly got into the kitchen, and a small sad pout appeared on her lips after seeing the food is still untouched. Maybe he didn't notice the food, she said to convenience herself, and again her eyes light up when she got an idea. Seems like he didn't had breakfast because if he had, he would have definitely left the breakfast for me. So why not cook for him and go to his company? I'm sure he will be at his company. Saying this, she threw the dinner away and started cooking fresh food for him. Wine walked out of the house all ready to go to Jungkook's company, and she was about to ask one of the guards to drop her, but she frowned, seeing a lots of guards all over the house. Why today there is too many guards? She asked herself, but then she forget it when ma'am you want something a guard asked her, making her realize she needs to go to Jungkook. Yeah, can you drop me to Jungkook? Sure, ma'am, this way, he said, and Wine just gave a thank you smile to him, and thus the guard lead Wine to the car and opened the door for her, and he himself got in the car and drive off, with two cars following behind them so as to ensure Wine's safety. Thank you, she said to the guard after he stopped the car in the parking lot of Jungkook's company. It's my duty, ma'am. You go, I will wait here to take you home. Wine just nodded her head and walked out of the car. Wine got in Jungkook's cabin with a happy, bright face, but it faded away when she saw his cabin is empty. Cook, she called him, hoping he might be in his personal room or something, but no, got no response. Maybe he is in meeting room. Saying that she turned to go to meeting room, but her bad luck, the door opened and there she saw Jungkook, and Jungkook's cold face got more cold after seeing Wine in his office because still they haven't catch Jack, but Wine smiled. Cook, see, I brought you. Before she can complete, Jungkook cut her off. Wine, what the are you doing here? I said to stay in house until I say so. He coldly yet strictly said to Wine, making her smile drop and eyes teary. I thought to bring again. Jungkook cut her off. Let me take you home. Back saying this, he approached Wine and held her wrist and started walking out of the office. And Wine, being heartbroken after hearing Jungkook's word, as she thought Jungkook is mad at her, so she silently followed him. Wine, just wait for a few hours. Please stay at home. After that, you can freely roam anywhere you want, okay? He said to Wine after making her back at home. And also, he noticed Wine's sad face, so he was about to hug Wine to make her calm. But instead, his phone rang with a notification, so we got him Jungkook shrimp and then he faced Wine who was about to open her mouth to say sorry, but Wine just wait for half an hour. After that we will both talk, okay? Wine just look at him with her puppy eyes and he would just walk out of the house. It's been more than half an hour, and here Wine was waiting for Jungkook so has to talk with him, but still Jungkook hasn't came, and soon she heard the doorbell ringing. It's Cook, saying that she immediately walked to open the door, but her face turned more sad, saying, Leah. She threw herself on Leah and hugged her tightly. Cook is mad at me, she said, making Leah to broke the hug, and still mad. Yeah, she said with a sad pout, and both Wine and Leah walked into the house and made themselves comfortable on the couch. I thought you both might have made up last night itself, and now you won't be able to walk. That's why I came to meet you, she said as she thought Jungkook would have her, and Wine sadly sighed. Do you talk to him? Did you say sorry to him? I said, but he is still mad. And also she said everything has how she prepared a bath for Jungkook, made dinner for him, prepared his clothes and all, making Leah roll her eyes. What? Seriously, Wine, that's all wife do. That's nothing special to ask for his forgiveness, but I did it for the first time and still he is mad at me. Wine sadly pouted, making Leah understand his Wine is a baby for Jungkook, but soon she shrimp. But girl, you didn't do the most important thing to get his forgiveness. Wine frowned on hearing Leah has what more is left to do. What's that? You have to him, and he will definitely forgive you and will make to you. You sure? But how will I him? She asked her with her innocent face. Leah shrimp. Simple, just wear the dress we brought yesterday. Here, I brought it for you. As you forget to take it yesterday, why now remember about the dress and took it from Leah? Wine smile. Oh, thanks, Leah. Actually, I forget about it. Come on, girl, thank me later. But for now, go and quickly wear this and put on some makeup to get your husband. Wine shyly nodded her head and, yeah, I should cook. Say he will be back in half an hour. That means he will be here anytime. Okay, then I will leave. I don't want to disturb you guys. Bye, Wine. Bye, Leah. And thus Leah walked out of the house and Wine left to their bedroom to get ready. Wine took the dress out of the bag and kept staring at the dress, thinking whether she should do it or not, because now suddenly she felt like not to. Jungkook instant asks for his forgiveness and then make because she is wrong. Here, she skipped her classes without even informing Jungkook. So, Wine sighed, no, I won't, my husband. I will get his forgiveness by my sincerity, she said, and kept the bag and kept the bag inside the wardrobe. And at the same time, she heard, Baby, I'm home. That's it. After hearing the baby and the soft tone of her husband, Wine's eyes started shedding tears, and she ran outside the closet to go to her husband. Wine came out of the closet to see Jungkook removing his coat, and that's it. She ran to him and hugged him tightly and bursted out crying, making Jungkook all numb after hearing his queen crying. So he was about to turn, but no, Wine only tightened his hold on his waist and no, don't turn around. Listen to me. I'm sorry, Cook. I will never skip my classes again. Please stop with the silent treatment. I can't take it. I love you so much, Cook, she said in one breath because before Jungkook cut her off, and Jungkook signed after hearing her and Baby, I'm not mad at you. Hearing this, Wine whole loosened and Jungkook turned around and cupped Wine's cheek and wiped her tears and peeked her lips. You are not mad at me, she said, while still sobbing, making her look so cute with Jungkook's smile. No, why would I be mad at you, baby? Because I cut my classes and went out without informing you. I promise I won't cut my class again. Jungkook chuckled, Baby, I know you always cut your class and go out with Leah, and you can still continue skipping classes, he said, making Wine surprised that he knew. But then why were you mad at me yesterday? She asked him, and thus Jungkook took a deep breath and said everything about Jack. Wine surprise. Oh, that's why you asked me to stay in house. Yes, babe, and now he is no more. You are free. But then why you didn't told me this yesterday? You know now I was mad at myself. Jungkook-san, I just don't want to make you scared after knowing that Jack is behind you too. But then why you didn't pick up my calls? because my phone was in the tracking room where my men were tracking his number, and if I would have took the call, the whole process would have disconnected, and then again we have to start from beginning. So I didn't took your call. I'm sorry. No, you shouldn't say sorry. I'm the one who should say sorry. Before Wine can complete, Jungkook pulled her up by her and smashed his lip on her, and she too happily him back. I love you so much, Cook. I love you more. And by the way, I love all the small, lovely things you did to me, he said, making Wine happy. You loved it, then from today I will always do that. No, you don't have to. I love your laziness more. And why did you came to company? I brought breakfast for you, and also yesterday I cooked dinner for you, but you didn't even tasted it after I worked so hard on it. See, she showed her fingers where she got marks. Oh, Jungkook took her palms and softly her every fingers where she got marked. Is it okay now? Wine just happily nodded her head, and then, what did you bite yesterday? He asked so as to change this topic, and Wine's eyes light up after hearing him, and you wait here, I will show you what I got for you. Saying this, she rushed to closer, leaving Jungkook confused. Seems like she got something very special, he said after noticing Wine's blushing yet happy face. Wine walked out of the closet and cook. She called him, who was now sitting on the bed using his phone. And when he looked up, the phone fall from his hand as she was looking in, as he saw her in that kind of dress for the first time. Babe, you're looking breathtaking. He walked towards her and held her and pulled her towards him, leaving no gap between them. Are you comfortable in this dress? He asked her because it's the first time Wine wearing it. Yeah, kind of, but only comfortable in front of you, she said while blushing and biting her lips, making Jungkook lose his control, and she smashed his lips on her, which she happily replied back. Jungkook shrimp, but babe, I think you will be more comfortable with me, he said and pulled Wine more close to him, and thus she felt his. So Vine smiled. That's heaven for me, Cook. She too said, making Jungkook shrimp, and he picked her up in his arms and walked towards bed and lay her on bed and above her. Jungkook smiled. I love you, John. Vine. He lovingly peeked her forehead. Vine smiled. I love you more, my John Jungkook. Thus Jungkook placed his lips on her, and both started each other passionately while his hand went to her dress. The end. Thanks for watching. Bye.